She went, meow, 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 and said, too slow.
He's one of Canada's best-selling authors, a father of 3, a Juno Award winner, a tireless promoter of literacy.
You'll get killed, she says, please.
Not to mention a member of the Order of Canada. But when Robert Munsch is in front of a room full of kids, it's clear he's really just a big kid himself.
You can muck any book by making it too boring. Once upon a time. But, you know, Mortimer went up the stairs, whap, whap, whap.
With over 50 books published, selling over 60 million copies, and translated into over 20 languages worldwide, Robert Munsch's books have charmed readers young and old for decades. Born June 11, 1945, Robert grew up in a family of 9 children. After high school, he spent 7 years studying to be a Jesuit priest. It was during his time with the Jesuits that Robert started to work with orphaned children. When he decided the priesthood wasn't for him after all, Robert left the Jesuits for a full-time job that would change his life.
What I found out I wanted to do was work in daycare, and that involves saying, well, I don't give a damn. I know I like working with kids. There's no money in it, but I'm just going to do it. That's all there is to it.
Robert discovered early on that he had a knack for getting kids to listen, and that was by making up stories.
I wanted stories that worked with the kids. That's all I wanted, to keep them quiet till nap time.
In 1975, Robert and his wife, fellow daycare worker Anne, moved to Guelph to work in the lab preschool.
I became popular with the kids because I told stories.
What's this?
That's what led to me being discovered by the professors as a storyteller. They would come in and say, who's this guy and what's he doing?
Robert's wife and colleagues urged him to write down his stories and send them to a publisher.
One day when that envelope came in, we read it, we went, my goodness, this guy is really onto something.
The books immediately found an audience with kids because they were about everyday experiences, such as hating their clothes or having messy hair.
When Ruth was a princess, she was going to marry a prince named Ronald.
One of Bob's most popular books, The Paper-Bag Princess, is a feminist fairy tale where stereotypes are reversed. It's the princess who saves the prince from the fire-breathing dragon.
Help! I'm coming, Ronald!
The Paper-Bag Princess taught me that it's possible to have a kid's book work really well for kids and at the same time have a strong message in it for adults.
Come back and rescue me when you're dressed like a real princess.
Well, Ronald, you look like a nice guy, but you are a bum.
Many of Robert's books are based on the children he meets. But one of his best-loved books is inspired by a very personal story.
My wife and I had 2 stillborn babies, and the story started off as the song. What's the song in the book? I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be.
As much as kids loved the book, so did their parents and their grandparents.
I've heard of people reading it over and over and not being able to finish the book without choking up after 20 or 30 or 40 readings.
Love You Forever by Robert Munsch.
In 1994, the New York Times named it the top-selling children's book, and it has now sold over 21 million copies.
As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be.
Wow! That was amazing.
Robert continues to delight audiences with his enthusiastic storytelling.